Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Dr. Sean Hashmi. I'm the Regional Lead for Adult Weight Management for Southern California Kaiser Permanente. Today I just wanted to take a quick minute to talk about how to be healthier by following 4 very simple, doable steps. That is the SELF principle. S is for sleep more, average 7 to 9 hours. Simply sleep at the same time every night. Get rid of distractions. E is for exercise, move more. Take the stairs, not the elevator. Park further away, make walking a part of your daily habit. L is for love, show gratitude, call your loved ones, create lasting relationships. And F is simply for food. Probably the most challenging one, but also a simple one, because if you focus on whole foods, if you focus on foods where you can smell the ingredients, that's the easiest way to know which ones are healthier for you. Put them all together and you have SELF. SELF principle is the core concept behind having a heart health. Following the SELF principle, you can live a healthier lifestyle, healthier mind, healthier body, and create lasting relationships. Thanks so much for joining us. I'll see you next time.
My name is Stephanie Fitzpatrick. I'm a clinical health psychologist, and I study health behavior change and weight management at the Kaiser Permanente Center for Health Research. I have struggled with obesity all of my life since I was a young girl. And so as I got older and started to experience the physical pains related to obesity, I started to realize that something wasn't quite right, but I wasn't quite ready yet. I mean, you have to be ready, right? And so I wasn't quite ready to lose weight and engage in those behavior changes. But then I started doing some research with some great researchers on childhood obesity. And I was responsible for talking to African American mothers and their daughters about how to eat healthy and how to increase their physical activity and how to manage their weight. And I thought, well, how can I be teaching these mothers and their daughters this when I'm not practicing this myself? And so from that point on, I decided that making small changes was what I needed to do. We know that behavioral lifestyle interventions are effective in terms of helping people lose 8 to 10% of their initial weight, which is considered clinically significant weight loss, reduces risk for diabetes as well as cardiovascular disease, and improves cardiovascular disease risk factors. However, what we've seen in our clinical trials is that these behavioral lifestyle interventions work for about 50% of the people who are participating. What happens to the other 50%? Well, they experience some weight loss too, but not to the degree of the clinically significant weight loss, the 5% or more that we would like to see. So part of my research is trying to figure out what are the psychosocial barriers that may be getting in the way that is preventing everyone from reaching that 5% threshold, or at least that clinically significant weight loss threshold. And how do we refine our behavioral lifestyle interventions to address those psychosocial barriers and make the intervention more effective for more people? We do have some idea about some strategies that work. One is continuing to eat a low-fat, low-calorie diet, staying physically active, particularly with moderate to vigorous physical activities, including walking, and also self-monitoring, weighing yourself at least once a week, and also keeping a food record, just to have an idea about what your food intake is like and what changes you need to make. When I realized that I needed to start making my own lifestyle changes, I started making small changes very gradually. As simple as moving from whole milk to 2% milk to 1% to skim milk, to making sure that I got at least 20 to 30 minutes of physical activity in my day, 5 to 6 days a week, and eventually increase that up to an hour. When I fix my plate, making sure that I have a healthy plate or perfect plate, half plate vegetables, a fistful of carbs, and a palm size of meat, of protein. So as I started to gradually adopt those behaviors to the point where they became my lifestyle, I was successful and lost 50 pounds over about 1.5 years and have been able to maintain that weight loss over 10 years.
Well, I was diagnosed with diabetes in 1993 and immediately had to make changes in my life.
Everyone knows that living a healthy lifestyle is important. Well, it's even more so important for people with health conditions like diabetes. Kaiser Permanente member Mike Terry's journey has taken him from an overweight 285 pounds down to his goal weight of 170. And get this, He's no longer dependent on his diabetes medication.
I am off diabetes medication for the first time since I was diagnosed in 1993, and that feels absolutely amazing.
What was it about this program with Kaiser that really helped you make that change?
My doctor was telling me at the end of last year that my numbers, particularly the A1C number, were going back up again. He wanted to increase medication, and I was beginning to feel a point of no return. And again, having saw what diabetes did to my father, and eventually taking his legs, leaving him bedridden, I did not want to see that kind of future. I have been with Kaiser as long as I can remember. Even as a child, my family has always been a part of Kaiser, and the experience has always been a positive one. We meet here at Kaiser Permanente's the Water Ridge facility. On Monday night, we gather. There are anywhere between 10 to 20 of us. We talk about our weeks.
How you doing?
Look who's here. Good to see you.
All right, good to see you too.
Our dietitian at that time was Lori Chang, and she has been very responsible about keeping us in an upbeat, positive mood about the journey that we're taking now, about our health.
In my experience of Mike, he was willing to do the work. He was willing to be curious about his behaviors and his habit, and he was willing to take a step back and actually utilize a lot of the techniques that are taught in class.
It's astonishing. I think I'm lighter now than when I was in high school. The biggest difference was learning portion control, the amount of food that you put in your system. It isn't always just about diet. It's also about how do you deal with your stress? Do you sleep well? How do you communicate with people?
Weight loss isn't always fun. Tell me about some of the moments that kept you going.
After I got past the initial 3 to 4 weeks with the dietary change, I was surprised at how easy it was to adapt the suggestions and ideals of the program, how to approach my life, and there's been a feeling of no turning back.
For more information on weight management and controlling diabetes, you can go to kp.org. For the West Side Beat, this is Kaylee Chella reporting.